Together we are but first coffee. Susie's just our host, but what matters most is we are a team. Together we are all safe here, and so are you. Among friends and mods we are safe. We talk about trauma, break down drama of life, death, happy or sad, even mad. We discuss it all here. Together we will thrive, not just survive. We will dry each other's tears, celebrate big or small wins, and chase away the fears. Together we fight cults or fight addictions. If not with experience, with love, and we don't judge. Please understand this is a safe place to land. Please understand you're not alone. This is a safe place to land. Together we thrive, not just survive. We will dry each other's tears, celebrate big or small wins, and chase away the fears. Because we are but first coffee, and Susie welcomes us all here. Together we are but first coffee, and Susie.
Hi, everybody. I'm going to learn how to work this one of these days. I thought I had it figured out, and I didn't. So, anyway, I am so glad to see you all here again. We just left, it seems like just a few minutes ago, but it's actually been about an hour and a half or so. So, anyway, I'm trying a new thing. I saw a little button where I could put the show comments on the stage, so I'm doing that. Maybe that'll show up for people that wanna see them on the replay. I'm not sure. So, I'm trying, y'all. I'm really trying. So, yeah. I was actually pretty pleased. My mods informed me that we only had 1 troll in the last video, obviously a ribbit troll. So, I am not foreseeing any here tonight. If so, shame on you because we are here with an incredibly important, incredibly positive, and uplifting story that we want to share with you all. So, any people with ill will, just like see yourself out and don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you. So, I'm going to check with my chat before we get started, but I do want to get jumped in here pretty quick because we've got a lot to cover. And it's late, and I know a lot of you are staying up extra late to be with us tonight, and so am I. So, anyway, yeah, John will take care of the trolls. Yeah, absolutely. So, welcome, Mischief. Thank you for putting up um, a link. We have a lot of different links for the US and Canada as well in my community post that I posted after the last live that I did earlier. I know I didn't get them for every country in the world, but I was thinking that, if I started with 2, that would kind of give you the idea that all the countries have them and you can just go online and pop those up. So, anyway, thank you for that. Let me know if you have any trouble and I'll try to help. So, hello, Joel. Thank you so much for being a member and thank you for being here. Stacia Flones, good to see you back. I'm always excited. There's Mischief with more links. She's gonna just kind of, I think, pepper them throughout the night unless she gets real busy with other things. So, anyway, hey, Mayor, thanks for being here. So good to see you. Hey, Eric. Eric Levitt is here, y'all, and he says hello from Culver City, California, and he does have high functioning autism. and he did a really good video with our very own Kelly, who is SPT Never Ends in Artology. He did a really good video with her. If you wanna, check that out sometime, be sure to do it. I was actually the mod that night. So far, I'm her only mod, and I show up about maybe half the time. So maybe she needs a couple more, so I don't know. Anyway, we just gotta get better at telling each other when we're going on, so anyway, Lori Driscoll, good to see you. So glad to see you. Jon Lauzon is in the chat, and he will actually be on the stage some too with his beautiful wife, Amy. Lord Kiss Freak is here. Always good to see you. Thank you so much for being a member. Angie Wilson is here. Hey, y'all. I swear to God, I can't get this theme song out of my head all damn day. Not really a complaint, but, of all the songs, right? Yeah, I know. I sing it to myself all the time. I'm like, wow, maybe I should be a songwriter. I did the lyrics, did not do the music, but I did do the lyrics. So, and Reddit made fun of it, but oh well, they're just jealous. Ugh. I don't know if I said thanks for being a member, Lord Kiss Freak, but if not, thank you for being a member. Eric says, I have high functioning autism, ADD, ADHD, SPD, sensory processing disorder, depression, OCD, anxiety, stress, and a learning disability. That's a lot. That's a lot to have lumped on one person, but you're doing great. You're doing great. Just keep on, keep on. Yeah. John says he'll take care of the trolls. I love it whenever you all start talking to each other too. Mare says that both of her grandsons are high functioning autistic with ADHD, and they are 15 and 7. Wow. Angie's son is also high functioning autistic with ADHD. He's 21. You don't look old enough to have a 21-year-old. You must have had him when you were 9. So, anyway, yeah, you do. You have a lot in common with Marilee. It scares me sometimes. Yeah, it scares me too. Yeah, Angie, Reddit can suck it. I call them ribbit just to get on their nerves. I mean, mostly because immature Emma does it, but it's kind of came over into my speeches too. So, hmm yeah, I know, Eric. That's why I have autism awareness in my profile picture. Absolutely. And Lord Kiss Freak 100% agrees with Angie. Me too. Is that something on my face? I don't know where that came from. I didn't even eat, y'all. I don't know what that was. Anyway, Angie says she has ADHD too, plus other things. It's a struggle, but good for us to manage life anyways. Yes, absolutely. I have ADHD, so I kind of get it. Yeah. Mara says, Angie, well, the theme song is stuck in my head as well. So it looks like we have it a fair bit. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, goodness. Daniel Price. Yeah. New idea for an autism themed florist, stems and stems. Yeah. Clever. Oh, goodness. Angie has a 21-year-old, 20-year-old, and almost 16-year-old. Oh, at 18. That was still young. I got pregnant at 18. I got married at 18, got pregnant at 18 a couple months later, 2 or 3 months later, and then had my first at 19. So, hey, Mr. Todd. Seems like I haven't seen you for a while, but glad to see you back. The Journey 2020. Yes. Go ahead and catch it on the replay. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely, Joel. I agree. I keep forgetting to put stuff up on the deal. I'm sure if I look down, the mischief is like, you know, making hand signals. We need to know much more about this. We must understand so that we can help. Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, Lord Kiss Freak says my dad refused to have me on Ritalin as a kid. Yeah, they didn't have all that when I was a kid. And so I just kind of didn't even know. I was an adult before. I ever even knew that I had anything. And so, you know, oh well. Times a changing, right? Times a changing. Yeah, you wanna hear John's stories about his daughter with autism? We're gonna talk to him and his wife in just a few minutes, and his daughter is absolutely adorable. They've got a adorable son, and, they're just a great family. I have just really kind of fallen in love with them, so I think they're amazing. But anyway, y'all, oh, you're pretty sure you have undiagnosed autism, but you know what the '80s were like? They just labeled everyone with ADHD and threw Ritalin at it, and that's it. Done deal. And that was my case. Anywho, that was Angie, by the way. Yeah, yeah, I know, sweetie. I know. It was crazy, wasn't it? So, real quick, I want to pop up a couple of pictures and then I'm going to start reading. Actually, I might go ahead and read this first part while the pictures are up there, or one of them anyway. Um, John sent me this picture collage of his daughter. Isn't that adorable? Look at her little baby. Look at that baby face. Isn't she pretty? She is adorable, y'all. Yeah. Aw, so cute. And then this is the one that I had on the screen before the video started. If y'all saw that. Yeah, she is adorable, Eric. She's very pretty. Look at that. She is just adorable. I think she's so pretty. She's like a mixture of her parents for sure. So, yeah, just precious. And their son is adorable too. So anyway, this is kind of an autism in the family kind of a deal. We're going to kind of talk about what it means for this family to have um Kaylee that's got autism, and the changes that they've had to make over the years to help her with that, and just all of it. We're just going to talk to them. I've got a few questions, and we're just going to see. Just going to see what we find out, and feel free to ask questions or make comments in the chat. It would be great if you could put either C's or Q's or something in front of it, because the chat might get kind of hopping. It did on the last one, and Mischief is in the background trying her best to get those starred for me so we don't miss anything. But they're really a lot easier if you do something that kind of makes them stand out. And I do try to read everything if I have time, but I don't always. Daynette McClure, good to see you too. I'm trying to keep up just a little bit, at least part of the way. Yeah, good to see you. You have to come back. I don't recognize your name. I kind of do, but I don't know if it's because I know some people with the last name McClure or if I've seen you before. Either way, welcome and please come back. Um, we always are willing and thrilled to see new faces or old faces that return. It's my peppermint tea, y'all. It's Allegro tea. Mischief got me hooked on it, and that is my evening tea. I always have a cup or 2 at night, so Daniel Price, good to see you too. Recognize that name, but I can't remember how, but anyway, good to see you. So anyway, tonight we are diving into the real, even probably sometimes messy, but beautiful world of caregiving, parenting, and kinda everything in between. I'm your host, Susie Oberholtz, but make no mistake, y'all, the stars of tonight's show are the Lauzon family. They are amazing. As I said a while ago, I just really, really like them a lot. Did you know, y'all, that 1 in 36 children in the US is diagnosed with the autism spectrum or on the autism spectrum disorder? According to the CDC's most recent data. Absolutely. And in Canada, y'all, here we go already. I can't talk. In oh, Sammy's channel. Yeah, that's where I've seen you. Yeah, okay. And in Canada, where tonight's guests are actually from, the numbers are also similarly significant. According to the Public Health Agency of Canada, as of 2022, 1 in 50 children ages 1 to 17 have been diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder. That means 2% of children in Canada are living with autism. And that number had doubled in the last decade as awareness and also diagnostic tools have improved, which thank God, right? And we can only hope that it just keeps getting better. So, anyway, these numbers represent real families. It's not just statistics, y'all. It's real families. Families learning, adapting, even reconstructing at times their entire lives around the needs of a child who just experiences the world in a unique and beautiful way. There's absolutely nothing to be ashamed of. There's absolutely nothing to be scared of. It's just a new way of looking at things, or not necessarily new, different, a different way of looking at life. So, autism isn't a limitation, it's a different perspective. Some of the most impactful minds share that perspective, like Temple Grandin, an animal behaviorist and autism advocate. And what about Satori Tajiri, who created Pokemon? And then I think that we all have heard of Greta Thunberg. She's a passionate voice for for climate change. Each of them, y'all, they bring their gifts to the world through the lens of autism. And they're just amazing to watch. I could watch this Greta talk all the time. And I know that, she's gotten some haters just like everybody does. Anytime you are in the press at all or on, any kind of platform, you get that. But it's just people just trying to undermine her because she says stuff that they don't like. That's just all it is. If you say stuff people don't like, you're going to get mouth. But I think it's wonderful that she doesn't let it bother her. She's just like, whatever, move on. So tonight we're going to welcome the Lauzon family, who will share the real life joys and even struggles of having a daughter on the autism spectrum. But first, I want to share a little Autism 101. So I'm going to pop this one thing up and then we will get to them. So, yeah, autism spectrum disorder is a neurodevelopmental condition, okay? Which means it affects how the brain grows and functions. It can impact things like communication and speech, social interaction, sensory processing. Some children are extremely sensitive to noise, light, even touch. Repetitive behaviors or strong interests in specific topics, emotional regulation and routine dependency. But remember, autism is a spectrum, and that means every child is different. Some kids are nonverbal and require full time support, while others might grow up to live independently with the right resources. As a treatments and supports, or as for treatments and supports, there is no cure for autism, but there are tools that help kids thrive. These include speech therapy, occupational therapy, applied behavior analysis. Though this one can be a little controversial and it isn't a fit for every child. Okay. And also social skills training. So there's that. So, y'all, I just am going to just dig right on into it, and we are going to welcome Jon and Amy to the stage. Hi.
Hi everyone. Ooh. Let us adjust a bit because we couldn't see while we were. Okay, that's we couldn't see while we were backstage there.
Yeah, yeah, I'm
Hey
sorry.
everyone, how's it going? I'll be
Everybody's excited to be here. So,
yeah. Well, I'm reading the chat. I was reading the chat and saying hi to people and stuff. And
yeah.
this is my wife Amy. Met you guys
Hi.
before. I know you saw her before too. Um,
Mhm.
listen, uh, I just before we start, for um, we had Kaylee for 13 years. She's 13 years old, and Amy devoted her life
Mhm.
to take care of her, and basically autism, the autism community, all the email that concern Kaylee with the school, with the special truck that come pick her up, all like it's an all the doctors involved. You guys all know I'm a fitter welder, so basically
Mhm.
I didn't see as much Kaylee grew as Amy did, and I didn't put as much work into Kaylee as Amy did.
Yeah.
I I can't have been the guys that go to work and pay the bills basically. And Amy even had to quit her job to be a full
Mhm.
time caregiver. So
Wow.
I'm gonna let her more interact with you because
Fine.
she has more the right answer that I would. I'm here to be supportive, and it's my daughter obviously, but you know what? As autism doesn't have a lot of answer, I have even less than she does and
Yeah.
then you guys does. But before we do that, we're gonna go tell her good night. You
Okay.
want to go tell good
Have to
night to
be
Kaylee?
quiet,
That's
though.
okay.
Let's go see her and then we'll be
Remember
back.
last time, everybody. Shh. We have to be quiet.
You guys wake her up on the chat. I'm not. I'm gonna.
Yeah. Gotta be really quiet.
I almost woke her up.
What,
I was
you
about to say,
moved
you are
her
going to
onto
wake
her?
her up.
I took her, Ben.
Yes. Oh,
But they had
Did
a
you
good
put it
shot
back?
though.
Did you
Yeah,
remember to
no, I
put it
oh,
didn't.
back
No.
on?
that's okay. During the night, it falls off anyway. It's
Uh,
just
Okay.
it's a sensory thing for her to fall
Yeah.
asleep. It's weird because she has lights. She needs lights, but then she also needs that. So it's like
Yeah.
John said, it's puzzling. There's no answers for a lot of things.
No, no, but that's
like that,
fine. That's fine.
like that room is as bright as a disco hall, and Amy, uh, she got to get used to it, right? We got to get used to it.
Yeah. Aw.
All right. So,
Well,
like I said at the beginning, I want you to chat a little. I'm going to be following in the chat. And if there's a question that you miss, Susie, or that
Mhm.
Mischief miss, I'll try to catch it. So, hi
Okay.
to everyone. And I'm glad we didn't wake her up because
Yeah.
we'd be in
Me too.
trouble.
So I'm just going to ask a few questions and you just tell as
Yeah,
little or as much as you want to. I mean, this is very
absolutely.
simple. We're not trying to get you to,
No,
tell any more than
no.
you're comfortable with or
Oh,
anything. So
I,
just your
I'm an
comfort.
open book, and do what? Go ahead, ask whatever, and in the chat as well. Go ahead, ask away.
Yeah. Okay.
Mhm.
So my first question would be, what are some of the earliest signs that led to Kaylee's autism diagnosis? What did you start noticing first? And how old
Um,
was she?
well, for me as a mother, it's almost like the mother's like intuition, like there was something. The very first sign for me, it goes back
Mhm.
almost. It was almost 9 months. She
Really?
she was bottle fed,
Mhm.
and all of a sudden, I can remember it clear as day. She just started. going away from her bottle. Like before, she would do that, that bond, that the eye contact, newborn and a mom does. They look into each other's eyes, and she's,
Yeah.
I feed her, and then all of a sudden, this one day, she was around, like I say, around 9 months, almost a year. She looked away. She went away from the bottle and just started like spacing off. Her eyes just went in a
Mm.
different direction, and I was just like, that is just so, like, that's weird. Like I didn't feel it was normal that my
Yeah.
baby was doing this. And then from that point, it was very hard to have her calm in my arms, to have her calm
Really?
and sit. Yes, to have her calm and sit and to rock her to sleep was such a struggle. From newborn to 9 months, she was a calm, kind of nice baby. She slept through the night, and then it was like,
Mhm.
okay, then the signs started showing where she wasn't a good
Yeah.
sleeper. So those were the very early signs. Um, and then as she progressed, there were no words. So she would do lots of sounds. I thought she's going to be an early speaker because she
Yeah.
was very loud and she would make lots of sounds, but there were no words. Um, she would do different, like you mentioned, stimming. She started stimming very early with her hands were always in front of her eyes. And I thought that was odd. She was always doing this, like very rapid, like looking at her hand, going like this and then laughing and, wanting to look at the
Huh.
TV really close or the TV upside
Yeah.
down. Um, so there were those things without the words as well, I think by a year or even by 2 years, a child should have a collective word, should at
Oh,
least
yeah.
say, I want cup or I want milk, uh, something like that. And there was nothing coming from her.
Wow.
Um,
So how old was she when she got diagnosed?
4.
Four?
So for her, it was kind of a late diagnosis,
Mhm.
because we wanted to see her progress. We wanted to,
Yeah.
even though I always had it in the back of my mind, this could be autism. And um, for me, I didn't know
Yeah.
anything. My only reference to autism was the movie Rain Man, with Dustin
Yeah.
Hoffman and
Yeah.
Tom Cruise. Like I
Yeah.
grew up watching that movie. That's my only
That's the
frame
only
of
reference
mind.
I would Yeah.
That's the only thing I knew. But I did that kind of crazy Googling thing all the time, like putting in the symptoms of, oh, my child's doing this, this, and this, and why is she doing this? Why isn't she doing this? I was doing that all the time, and then
Yeah.
going back to John and saying, oh, I'm worried. I'm worried. I was such a worry wart about it and couldn't sleep over it. And John would just encourage me and say, all children are different. Let's let her
Well,
develop,
that's
because it was good. He was very supportive that way, because in other areas she was very like, she walked at 9 months, like she was up running at,
Mhm.
and for an early age she was up doing that, and
Yeah.
other things she was really good at doing some certain things, but then, you know like I say, so anyway, at
Mhm.
4 she got diagnosed. um
Mhm.
we went to her kindergarten orientation to start school, and
Mhm.
John and I, we both kind of said to the teacher there, we have concerns, like maybe
Yeah.
uh, autism spectrum. We're not sure. We haven't had her diagnosed, but we definitely have concerns. So after that orientation, both the teachers, their eyes are like wide. They're like, yeah, you
Uh,
need to get her to a doctor and get a
yeah.
diagnosis. Yeah.
Well,
So
I
that
don't know
was
if it's
kind
the
of,
same in I don't know if it's the same in Canada, but in the US, if you have a diagnosis, then the school can get additional help to deal, with the needs of that child. So the school is
so,
gonna be all for the diagnosis
oh
because
yeah,
without it, they can't get those needs met. And so once they
for
have a
same,
diagnosis,
yeah.
then they can bring in other people and, whatever they need.
Absolutely. So for same here, and I advocate for that too. Whenever a parent or someone comes to me, my first thing to say to them is diagnosis. Without
Yes.
that letter of diagnosis, you're nowhere. You cannot get help, funding, There's nothing without that diagnosis. And to get that letter of diagnosis is hard too, because you
Mhm.
have to go through um, uh, evaluations
Mhm.
and to get a proper doctor. The thing with us is we've been blessed with a proper doctor. In our region here,
Mhm.
um, we were blessed with a really, really good doctor to evaluate
Good.
her.
Mhm.
She's known region wide from here to Toronto. So she's really, really well known for working with children on the spectrum and many different
That
disorders and
helps.
things. So it does help, yes. So so we got a good diagnosis there. And then from there, after the diagnosis, then she did start a bit of therapy.
Mhm. So after the diagnosis, how did you process that information? Was it kind of a relief because now you had an actual diagnosis, or how did that feel for a parent? I mean, what were your
Um,
thoughts and feelings on it?
yeah, yeah, initially it was a relief. A lot of unknowns. Like I didn't know, again, I wasn't sure what autism was even when she was diagnosed. I wasn't sure what this meant for her, what because there are 3 levels that you can be diagnosed with, 3, 2, and 1, and she was diagnosed at level 2.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
I didn't know what that meant
Yeah, I
at the
wouldn't either.
time. I didn't know. Now looking back and
Oh, whoops. Oh, no, hold on. Oh, they hold on. They disappeared. John, if you can still hear me, just have her join the session again. I'm not sure why she got kicked out. Hopefully, they'll be right back. Wow. Just waiting to see if they can get back in. Sometimes it takes a minute because I think they're coming back in. Okay, I'm not sure what
okay.
happened, but sometimes it takes minutes. Oh,
Hey, Susie, I got a question for you. Sorry to disrupt, but we're only in half the iPad. How can we be in the whole iPad? Like we're small in here.
No,
I
that's
don't
okay.
know.
I don't mind if it's like that.
Yeah,
Aren't
I
we?
don't know.
Okay.
I really
That's why
don't.
we lost you, because John pressed a button up here and we're gone.
All right. Sorry about that,
Aw,
guys.
that's okay.
John, push a button again.
Do
Yeah,
you
it's all.
do you have 2 things going? Because I hear an echo in the background. So do you have 2
Okay,
screens?
I'll turn my. Yeah, I'm trying
Yeah, you
to.
just turn the volume down.
There is that better?
I think
Okay.
so. Yeah, I don't
Okay.
hear it now. Well,
Okay.
okay. I
Uh,
think so. So anyway, we were just
oh,
talking about your
do you hear an echo? Do you
how you
hear an
process.
echo? Yeah.
Sorry.
Do you hear an echo?
No.
No. Okay.
No.
Um. Yeah. So, like I said, I still didn't. It was relief. Sadness. It was a whole mountain of mess. Of course. Like I didn't know what to come, what was to come with her life. And like I said, there was the 3, so she's 2, which means she will need significant care in the rest of her life, like in areas of her life, significant, like behavioral and developmental delays
Yeah.
throughout her life. um so right away I was set up with many meetings, many different like links that you posted there. You posted at the beginning, there was the Carrie's Place, like
Mhm.
places like that in Ontario. You get set up with people like that who help you navigate those first steps, right? Because it is very overwhelming when you get that diagnosis, but you get um, set up with places that will help you um, in those first beginning stages.
I'm gonna add this graphic to this screen real fact real fast and read it because it deals with those stages of it, of, how the different levels of autism. I'm not sure what it's called. Yeah, levels. So anyway, it says level 1 requires support. Social challenges and repetitive behaviors
Yeah.
may interfere
Yeah.
with functioning in one or more contexts. Needs support with organization and planning. Okay, then it says level 2. Now this is, you said that's where Kaylee's at, is
That's
level
Kaylee
2.
level 2. Yeah.
Okay, it says requires substantial support, marked deficits in verbal and nonverbal communication skills, difficulty coping with change, needs significant support for daily functioning. And then
Hmm.
level 3 says requires very substantial support. I'm going to try to read
Yeah.
it through this thing. It says severe deficits in communication, very limited social interactions, and extreme difficulty with change or transition, requires intensive support. So
Right.
she's a level 2. So
Hmm.
basically she needs a lot of help, but there are things that she can do for herself, and
Right. Right. And when it says like the verbal there too, that part. So with
mhm,
Kaylee, she was almost nonverbal until like
yeah,
3, almost 4.
yeah,
Um, and back then, like at home, I was doing like flashcards, like I was doing so many different things
yeah,
that I could do to help her along. And still with her speech, so she can speak perfectly perfectly clear,
mhm,
but her speech is limited to what they call echolalia, or she just repeats stuff all day, which is pretty much echolalia. Like she used to, you would say to her, "Hi, Kaylee, how are you?" And she would say, "Hi, Kaylee, how are you?" Or, she just repeats what you say, which is a great
yeah,
um, tool to teach a child how to speak. So, I kind of went off that and teaching her how to speak in that way, but she's still her
yeah,
communication is very, it's like she's 13, but I don't know if I've ever had a real conversation with her because she's always just talking about the cartoons that she likes, or she loves Sonic the Hedgehog right now. Like there was
yeah,
something you read at the beginning there where it said they are fixated or upset, can be
yeah.
obsessed on certain things. Yeah, she goes through her periods of where she's obsessed and fixated on stuff, and right now it's Sonic the Hedgehog. Like it's every day, all day. That's all she talks
Oh,
about.
wow.
Hmm.
Oh, goodness.
Hmm.
So, how did you decide to become a full-time caregiver? Was it just that you had no choice? And did it change your family's, how it functions? Like,
Hmm.
are there things that, "Hey, I need more help with this now. I'm here all day doing this, so now John has things to do." Or
Yeah,
is it Xander? Is that his name? I've already forgot his name.
yeah, Xander. Yeah.
Yeah, Xander. Yeah.
Well,
Have you had to, like,
so
push things off on them, or because your plate has to be really, really full?
it is.
Yeah.
Another thing though, too, I'll just go back and then answer that. One thing, when
Okay.
Kaylee got diagnosed,
Uh-huh.
I took it on as this is my passion and my
Mhm.
we all have a calling in life. And it's like,
Yeah,
oh, it
this is
clicked.
it.
Like
Yeah.
this is it. Okay, this is what I'm here for.
Yeah.
So that's what I took it on. So
Yeah.
when it comes to things like that, it kind of just flows. Um,
Mhm.
Kaylee, she she's not, sometimes she's not able to go to school. So there were days where I just couldn't go to work. I couldn't go to work. It was like not
Yeah.
working that way. I needed to be home for her
Yeah.
to take care of her here. And that's the full-time caregiver for me
Yeah.
here. And so I'm doing that. Yeah, there are there, I don't ask, John to do extra for me while
Yeah.
because I'm full time for her now because he's full time doing his job. The thing, the thing that sucks is I don't get paid. It would be nice, the funding and the support that Canada or Ontario give. They don't give
Yeah.
money for caregivers to stay home, right? Which that would be the extra nice benefit of it.
Oh,
Um,
yeah, it would be. I
but
think in the US,
yeah.
some caregivers do get paid.
They
So,
do. They do. I've seen in many, it differs from state to state, but I've
yeah.
seen in some states people get paid, them and like wives
Oh,
and their husbands get paid to stay home.
yeah.
Hmm.
I wish you all
Yeah.
could get that because that would sure,
Yeah.
like, help. I mean, I don't care how good
Yeah.
a job he's got, a little bit of extra will always come in
Oh,
handy.
yeah.
So
That that's why sometimes I'm grumpy at work because I have to do overtime.
And we do get our funding here in Canada, but the thing that is not the greatest with it is it's restricted. So it's
oh, yeah.
only allowed for therapy right now. The funding that we have for her is you're only allowed to use it for therapy. You can't use it for respite. You can't use it for recreational purposes. It's only allowed for the one thing. So, and Kaylee, she doesn't need therapy right now. She's had lots of it, and I will say something maybe a bit controversial right now. Kaylee is not. She doesn't. She doesn't do well in ABA therapy. I've had her in ABA a lot over the years. I have tried it, and my last time trying it was my last because it doesn't. And you know what? For some children, it's fine, and I'm not.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's
I'm
what
not
they say
against it.
about it, that it's,
Yeah,
that it's controversial and it's not for everybody.
that's right. That's right. And I've given it a go. um, when she was younger, she did a lot of speech therapy and occupational therapy. And occupational therapy is still a wonderful thing for her. That's more like a play-based type kind of therapy for
Yeah.
her. But just that ABA is just it's
Can you
not.
explain to the chat what ABA is? Just a little bit about what it is?
Yes. So what ABA does is they'll get the child to do, say, a worksheet, say, and then once they've done that, then they get to take a break, and it's a reward system. It's
Yeah.
you do this and then you get a reward. You do this, you get a reward. So it's
Applied behavior analysis.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
trying to get the child's aggression and anger down, but most therapists, they want to see that child's anger go up, 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 and when that child's anger is up, then they're like, oh, that's good. We're getting to that anger point where we can fix that child. And
Yeah.
that's where I didn't
Well,
want it. It
you know,
mhm,
children, whether they have autism or not, don't all work. Their minds and brains and everything don't all work in the same way. Like what is a good study plan for me may not be for my brother or my sister, and we're all in the same family. But what works
right.
for one doesn't work for the other. So I don't know. I kind of agree with you. I think that the ABA thing, I think that would be very controversial to me too.
It was, and it was very hard. We just had it like what 6 months ago or something, baby.
Yeah.
And it was hard. Like John, it was very hard for John to see Kaylee go through that.
Yeah,
Like the therapist was
I
in home
bet.
here, and they were pushing her to her limits. And then the one day I couldn't handle it either. I was just like,
We
sorry, we're done.
we kick them out.
Yeah, we kicked them out, and we're like I'm like, we're done. I can't handle it.
Yeah.
They can push my baby like that. We kick them out.
Yeah.
I think there were 3 of them here. Out.
Oh, did you boot them out of the house?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
we-
yeah.
and
Your
we had-
checks in the mail, lady. Get out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we had to pay them for 3 more weeks.
Yeah.
Don't
Oh
care.
Yeah.
no. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who cares? They're gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, yeah, my next question was actually about, was there ever a moment where you said, "This is where I'm supposed to be," but you already said that this is where you're supposed to be.
Oh
So,
yeah.
yeah.
There's. I mean, the thing is with the caregiver job and the autism,
Mhm.
it comes with it. It's grief. Like
Mhm.
as
Yeah.
grief. Like I call it grief because I relate it to grief. Like the way grief is like a roller coaster. Some days you feel it a lot, and then some days you don't. That's how it is with the parenting of Kaylee. Some days most days, she's really happy, and I
Yeah.
just, go along with her and play with her, and I'm always happy with her. But then some days it's like that surmountus feeling of grief that you feel when, if you've lost a close loved one. It's like you want to cry that day. It's the same kind of feeling.
Yeah.
But I
Absolutely.
know I know this is what
Yeah.
I'm
I
supposed
know
to
what
be
you
doing.
mean. Yeah.
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 Hmm.
So, autism can come with a lot of different needs and experiences. What has been the most challenging example? Like,
Mhm.
is it emotionally, financially, socially, spiritually? What's been the most challenging part of it for you all? Of
Like
But
for myself or with Kaylee?
for
the
yourself.
violence,
Yeah, well, for myself, it's more maybe the isolation for
Mhm.
myself, because with Kaylee, it's isolating because of her um i- sensory and the way that she is, her routines. She doesn't like to go certain places. We can't go say there's like a certain birthday party at a place that would bug her. We can't go there, you know, or
Yeah.
over the years sometimes people, even family members, they just won't want to invite us places because of, they know it's, they know that it might bug her, or
Yeah.
they're, they're looking, they're, it's not out of a hurt place, but
No,
they're
no,
just,
no. Yeah.
so it's
They're looking out
it
for
can
her,
be,
actually.
yes, they're looking out for her, exactly. So it can be isolating. I think that for me, and yeah, it can take a spiritual toll sometimes mentally.
Yeah, yeah,
It's a whole mountain of it again. Yeah.
yeah. And what about you,
Yeah.
John? What's been the most, challenging part of that for you?
uh, well, before I answer that question, I need to answer a question that popped in
Okay.
earlier that you might have missed. Uh, Let me turn that volume up a bit. In the chat, much earlier on, a question pop out, and yes, we do here in Canada receive a tax credit
Oh, yeah.
because Kaylee's autistic. So it means that all the way through the year, my paycheck is taxed. Well, first we receive children benefits every month, like we're receiving money from the government. And because Kaylee's autistic, we receive a little bit more. So that's one.
Mhm.
Two is that all the way through the year, my paycheck is taxed normally, but at the end of the year, when I do my income tax, they refund me quite a
Oh,
bit
yeah.
because,
Yeah.
and that helped us, Amy and I, to make the decision. Okay, uh, no, we're not talking about a fortune, but it's
No,
helping
no,
us.
but still.
Like it's not like a full wage for her, but it does help us. Like I mean, with the food, with the clothes, and with all that.
Oh,
So
yeah.
basically, so
Absolutely.
basically, they're both tax break. So a little bit more for Kaylee every month uh, until she's 18, and a tax break at the end of the year for me. So they just calculate that I have an autistic child, and then they say, okay, well, we tax you too much, so
Yeah.
they're giving you that back. Now for me, the
Exactly.
hardest part,
That's till she's 18, right? That's till she's 18, but she's gonna need care after that, correct?
Yeah.
no,
uh,
but at 18, oh well, I'll let
at 18, I'm gonna file for her own
she's fully
sh-
full.
she'll be on her own disability then
Oh,
at
okay.
18,
Yeah.
and then she'll still be with us. Like, I'm gonna try and get her with us till till we can hang on to her the longest time. That's another thing that I try not
Yeah.
to think about that, but it's
Yeah.
always in the kind of in the very far back
Yeah.
of my mind. John's really good at trying to live in today, so he's good
Yeah.
at keeping me in today. But that, I know that that's there. It's like, please, Lord, let me live to 100 so that I can
Yeah.
and have the strength and courage to take care of her until then. Because yes, once she's old enough, or we're too old to care for her, she'll need to go into a home where she has nurses and carers around to care for her around the clock, because that is what it is. Just like I referred to Rain Man at the beginning, that's
Yeah.
what she'll need to
Yeah.
be.
Yeah.
Needs to be cared for by someone in a home.
Yeah.
Yeah. And for me, what's been the hardest, and probably for Amy too, uh, a couple years ago, it started about 4 years ago. Um, so uh, before I go further, when she's being diagnosed, she's being diagnosed between medium and severe. That's her diagnosis. They didn't want to say medium, but they didn't want to say severe either, so they
Yeah.
just told us. So, but she's close for us. Some of her temper that she might get from me, mostly. Uh, she reach severe quicker than others, so she can control her emotion appropriately. So since she start at medium, when she gets mad, she goes straight to severe. And what happened is about 3.5 years ago, uh, violence start. She couldn't control it to the point where she needed to break stuff. She had to externalize it by either threatening to break stuff or by she broke a TV, she broke CD case, she actually needed to break stuff because she wasn't able to actually verbalize how much pain she was in inside.
Mhm.
That's how. And then then my wife will pick it up from here, I guess. But so then we had to get her to a mental yard
Mhm.
until they actually prescribe us a cocktail of medication, but
Mhm.
really, really adjusted for age, weight, and size, right? Because the drugs we're giving her so she doesn't reach that violent point are actually one of them drugs is, and I won't name it on the screen, but one of these drugs, it's a drug that they give to criminal when they're too aggressive. They
Yeah.
shoot them with that till they calm down. Well, Kaylee's on that all day long, but more at not when just when she needs it. She's
Yeah.
stabilized on that.
Yeah, you keep her
So
stable.
yeah, so she doesn't reach that violent point, but she
Mhm.
still does sometime. And then now we have other drugs in case she reached that point. But that made a big change in our life. But there's been a period, I would say a good few months, where the violence in here, and it affected Zender a lot because
Yeah.
she's really strong.
Mhm.
She's 13 years old, but she has my character, and she has the little muscle she has. She
Mhm.
can also, if I don't know how many time, and I don't want it to be a trigger. I don't know how many time Amy got hit, kick. Um, she got kicked in the knee so bad that her knee is still messed up from it.
Aw.
Uh, Red faces because she put her face too close to her, and like the violence affected. And I come from a violent past too, so it but it was a game changer for us. Like the doctors were helping us stabilizing us on the
Mhm.
drugs. And here we have drug plans through my work. So it's not something very expensive, but it's something
Good.
that but
Mhm.
there's a part of Amy's job that's full time. Like the minute Kaylee wake up at 5 in the morning, Amy's over in the kitchen cracking pills
Yeah.
and mix it with water and milk because she doesn't know we're
Yeah.
giving her that, right?
Yeah.
Uh, 'cause
She kind of does now,
yeah, she's
a
kind of
little bit.
figuring it out a
Yeah.
little bit, but
Mhm.
and I mean it's a cocktail, in
Mhm.
the morning, and now I want to add that, and then I'll put back Amy on. We gave the school, okay,
Mhm.
written permission
Mhm.
to them for them to administer. her these
Mhm.
drugs. So every morning, Amy would crash those pills, put
Yeah.
them in little pot, in a glass with a straw, in a baggie, and then at 11 and at 2, the school had the permission. They had to do it actually,
Yeah.
or she
Oh,
would
yeah.
break
Yeah, yeah.
she would break stuff. We can count how many Chromebooks she broke. She broke
That's
like,
cool.
but
Mhm.
that was a good thing that the school has been able here to receive our permission
That's
and
good.
do that, or she wouldn't have been able to make it that far.
Mhm.
And it just helps keep her stable throughout the day so that you're not just
Oh
trying to
yeah.
catch up later. Yeah.
Oh, because she
Mhm.
would come back here like
Mhm.
oh yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Mm, yeah.
That was very
Oh,
yeah.
Mhm.
wow.
That
So,
so that was my hard
Mhm.
part.
yeah. So do you all do anything that or have a support system that helps you to make it through the tough days, or just when you need a break, is there anybody that can help you all with some kind of, help take care of her
No,
or
no,
no
nobody
date
in
nights?
13, no one in 13 years.
Mm. No, so
Aw.
um no,
From
so
the minute she
mhm.
got off the hospital. No.
we used to like if we want to like go out, John and I, or
Yeah.
have any like moment of respite, she has to be in bed. It's
Yeah.
always Kaylee has to be sleeping and then we go out. It's Kaylee needs to be sleeping. That's why I also like referred to that isolation piece,
Mhm.
because
Oh,
it's
imagine.
it's
Oh,
that I don't have a social life. I go out for coffee with my sister-in-law, and
mhm.
she's also become one of my really closest friends over the years, and
Yeah.
that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Mm.
Even members of the family. It's just it, and I kind of made a joke here, but there's a part where drugs are involved.
Mhm.
So if Kaylee's awake and something turn, no one is trained like we are
To
Yeah.
me.
with these drugs
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
calm her down in case of a breakdown.
Mhm.
So not even members of the family are able to actually take care of her
Mhm.
awake.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
and that changed our whole routine because like on a Friday I would work until 4:30 and then I would have a nap, and when Amy put Kaylee's to bed and
Mhm.
she's actually asleep on drugs because we give her one
Yeah.
kind of blood that
Yeah.
make her sleep. Now we get Zender to watch over the house because he's old enough and he
Yeah.
has a cell phone, and the door is locked and he wouldn't know, he knows what to do, but that's the only time. It's not
Yeah.
like oh we're like, and you know what's bugging me, Susie? I just need to get that out because
No, that's fine.
I'm sure that other parents got that same answer or comment, is that
Mhm.
everybody is telling us, oh, you guys need respite. We know it's been 13
well,
Like,
years.
well,
duh.
We know.
well, the
But the point is that no one can
Yeah.
give us that
no,
respite, right?
well, and the thing is, people
Yeah.
say, don't you have funding for respite? So the funding that we have, like I said, it
It's not for that.
it's not, we're not
Yeah.
allowed to use it for
Therapy.
respite. Or
Yeah.
if it was, I would hire a wonderful respite worker to come here and
Yeah.
play with Kaylee. That is, she's like, there are many respite workers who are allowed to give her that medication, who would be able to handle an explosive meltdown. But the
Yeah.
funding that I have, no,
Yeah.
it's only allotted for the therapy, like I said.
Oh. So how do you all keep your relationship so strong? Is it just with these occasional date nights that you can grab after she goes to sleep, or, you know, I'm not looking for
by
any
by
elaborate
by
details,
not talking by not talking to each other.
Well,
That's what my
Bye.
husband and I do too.
Yeah, she leaves me in my room with the door closed and a cigar, and that's the best relationship. We have the best relationship ever.
You are a mess.
No, he
I
is. No,
know.
I'll say it cheesy like this: a couple that prays together stays together.
Yeah,
My
Absolutely. I
we
believe it.
our our foundation is Jesus.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
actually, and
Yeah.
he's at the top here. We know he is, and then he's watching over us and helping us, and
Absolutely.
but you know what? It's been gradual. Amy and I have, and I talked about that a little bit before, but we met in Alcoholics Anonymous.
Mhm.
So she hasn't drank in 22 years
Wow.
this
Almost
year,
20 years. Yeah.
and me 21
So great.
in August.
Wow.
And so it's been a development. It's not like like we what I'm trying to say here is that like we went camping and stuff like that, then we got
Mhm.
engaged, then we got married, then we got Zender, and then like, so basically we're not just I, like we're a team,
Mhm.
like we're it, we
Yeah.
I'm see I know we're married and it's a marriage, but we
Yeah. I know
team
what.
up we team
Mhm.
up against a teenager and an autistic
Yeah.
kid, and,
Mhm.
and a rabbit and a bird. You know what I mean? So it's a
Mhm.
lot of teamwork. I go to work, I come back, I'm exhausted. Amy kick in, she does her stuff with the kids, and then when Amy can rest during the day, the kids are at school. Then
Mhm.
I got to go do my stuff, and we don't even talk.
Yeah.
It becomes routine. It becomes normal. She knows when I'm tired. I know when she's tired.
Yeah.
I know she works hard. Her staying here all day doesn't mean she's exhausted. Like
Well,
we're both
well,
exhausted.
I think
Yeah, we need a
I
respite.
I
Yeah.
think also I think also the more things you
Look
go
at them
through,
fighting.
the
But
more
give me the TV. Give me the TV.
I think the more things that you go through too as a couple.
Yeah.
Like I lost my
Oh.
mom early. I lost my mom early on, and then um a few years after he lost his dad. Like we've been through so much together and stuff like that. It bonds you. Like
It
it
does.
the hard stuff brings you together. You don't see it at the time. That hard stuff. It
Yeah.
could drive you. Grief does so much to a person, but afterwards it makes you stronger as a couple. The hard
I
stuff,
do
I
want to
think.
congratulate I do want to congratulate both of you on your sobriety and the fact that you're having to deal
Mm,
with everything that you're having to deal with and you have still stayed sober. That is absolutely amazing. I just am so proud of
thank
both of you. I'm proud for you. And I didn't do anything, but I'm proud for you
you.
both. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
That's
But
awesome.
yeah, but it has a lot to do, like family, Kaylee, Zender, our marriage,
Mhm.
the sobriety from alcohol and all that has a lot to do with um, the relationship that Amy and I are having with God, and the faith that we are trying to educate our children with. Like I'm just coming back from church, like just before the show. I just came back from church with Zender and his girlfriend.
Mhm.
We need to stay connected to our higher power,
Absolutely.
to Jesus, because we couldn't do it on our own. Like
Mhm.
there's no
Yeah.
way we could.
I couldn't
And
either.
I bet, yeah, and yeah, and I suggest if there are parents out there that are struggling to, I, 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 I mean, I don't want to talk about other parents and other marriage and how it works and stuff
Yeah.
like that. For us, we needed that foundation, that rock,
Mhm.
that fortress, because that's what's keeping us going. I had
Yeah.
a heart,
I
I
understand.
had a heart attack at 40 years old. I died three
Oh, wow.
times, and I'm
Oh,
still
wow.
back in the shop. I'm still back in the shop welding,
Mhm.
and I have a cigar lit up right beside me. But we keep on going, right?
Mhm.
Mm. So have there been unexpected joys, like, with her having autism? Has there been anything that that she's done or said or just anything that just put joy in
Wow. Do you know what? The list is miles long.
I
Honestly,
imagine. I just wanted to touch on those because
yeah,
I don't want it to
yeah.
seem like it's all bad and sad. I know there's
No,
joys.
no,
Yeah.
it's not. Well,
And so I wanted to make sure we had a segue to go into those.
yeah. She, yeah, the way that she sees life and the joy that she radiates joy most days. Like she she will have bad moments, but the way that she when she like I said, right now she's obsessed with Sonic. She's fixated on that, but she gives it
Yeah.
her all. Like she is just
Yeah.
Sonic. She's just so
Aw.
overwhelmed and excited by it every day. She just when she sees him, like the joy in her heart is that it's pure. Like it's just pure love and pure joy. She's excited about it all the time, and she does that with everything pretty much that she likes. If she likes it, then she's going to do it with 100% joy and love in her heart. And
Mhm. Aw.
that's how she sees things. Like
Yeah.
uh it's a definitely a beautiful way to see the
Mhm.
world. Hmm.
Oh, I imagine. That's just it just brings me joy just thinking about it. It truly
Yeah.
does. Oh.
Or for instance,
So,
it's been rainy here lately, so she
uh-huh.
loves going on the balcony and
Dancing in the
dancing in
rain.
the rain. Like she'll put on her
Aw.
boots and she just wants to dance in the rain. And I just, I encourage
We
that.
could
Like
all
she
just do
loves,
that. We just all
oh
need to
yeah,
go put our boots on and
yeah,
go dance in the rain.
oh yeah,
How
yeah,
wonderful.
yeah. She
Yeah.
she loves wearing dresses. Like she'll put dresses on each day. She likes putting her dress on. She has different like costume dresses like she likes to put on.
Uh-huh.
She'll put costume dresses on, and then she likes to dance to music in my room. Like she loves like
Aw.
all kinds of different music right now. Shania Twain's one of her favorites.
Oh, yeah, mine too.
Yeah,
She's good,
yeah,
and she's beautiful.
yeah.
One
Wow.
there's one more thing I want to add too about the like her middle name. I choose Grace. Amy had given me two option, and I choose Grace because of for her middle name. But there's one thing positive that it did. A negative turned into a positive is that Xander grew up to be a man
Aw.
much quicker than any other teenager. Come here, bud. Xander turned up to be a nice young man because he took care of her. He
Yeah.
just pop it.
Hey.
Take your hand off your face. I'll just share a cookie. Say hi, everybody.
Hi.
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 So we're just like net rare. Like I don't remember having what one bad comments from anyone from him.
From Xander? No,
No,
no.
it's
He's been,
Oh.
yeah, he's,
a mature,
hmm
well educated, well spoken,
hmm
amazing on guitar. It's not the trouble kids that you hear from school, like your kid got into
Mhm.
trouble and stuff like that. And everywhere he goes, he's actually like he has mustache and beard and everything. So even when he goes to my mom, he's the one that check out on the other kids his age.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's the responsible one.
That's how my grandson is.
Yeah, and I think it has a lot to do with the fact that he grew up looking over a special need child,
Yeah.
right?
So
Not
how
just
old
a
is
little
Xander?
16.
16.
16.
Yeah.
I have a 17-year-old grandson and a 16-year-old grandson and a 14-year-old granddaughter. And then I have
Wow.
younger ones too, but in the
Wow.
teenage years, that's what I've got.
Oh yeah.
So,
Wow.
Oh, we've been blessed with one. Like I wasn't a teenager like him.
Mm-mm.
Like I was the pest in the West. I was
Yeah.
like
Me too. I was awful.
we were both.
I was
Yeah,
probably
we
like
were,
I was a lot like him.
yeah,
Very mature, the one that, acted right, did right, yeah. Looked
yeah.
after everybody else. That was kinda how I was too.
Mhm.
So
I
that's
was
how
the
my
one that.
granddaughter is. She's 14 and
Wow.
that's how she is. She takes care of everybody. Everybody. She
I
likes to
had
do
right.
things to make money so she can buy gifts for everybody at Christmas and birthdays and
Aw,
everything, and always has. She was, like, 4 years old, and she was already doing that, and,
what a
she's
sweetheart.
14 now, so yeah, and she's gorgeous, so everybody's just like, "Oh my god, she's so sweet and so pretty."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Yeah." But, yeah, I'm just like, that's so I had a thought, that, autism doesn't define Kaylee. It's part of who she is. And, like, how do you nurture her talents? Like, that you said she likes to dance. Does she like to draw? Does she like to
So,
sing? I mean, what does she like to do besides
so yeah,
besides Sonic the Hedgehog?
yeah. She loves to draw.
Mhm.
And recently, she's taken an interest in comic books and Pokemon.
She reads a lot.
She reads a lot. Like, so this is the interesting thing that I find just fascinating about autism. The brain is is just it fascinates me because
It does me too.
as much as she is delayed, she's like 13, but behavioral and emotional, she's like a 5-year-old, but her
Mhm.
brain is brilliant. She can read, like the stuff that she reads is incredible. She can read in French as well because
Oh, wow. Mhm.
John used to sit with her and read her French. And she used to watch French TV so she can read in French. So every week we go to the library. She picks
Mhm.
out tons of books and she reads them all. And
Oh,
like I said,
wow.
Pokemon it's difficult to read for even myself. Like some of the words in there are
Yeah.
hard.
Did
So
did you hear, though, that the person that created Pokemon is autistic?
oh yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
She
that's
told.
awesome, I think, that she likes
Yeah.
Pokemon
That's
because the
weird, eh?
person that yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I
Yeah.
wonder if there's some kind of correlation there that she's able to, really pick up on it and everything because of the autism, I wonder, because the person that created it,
Right.
you know?
Yeah.
Well, and
I just
she does
wonder if
take
there's
it.
some correlation.
She also does have an interest in Lego. She's really good at like doing Lego and
Oh,
puzzles. So
wow.
most I,
That would
I
make
don't like
sense.
to I don't like to bunch autistic children all under the same umbrella, but
No.
it is a lot. It is common. They are really good at Lego and puzzles
Mhm.
and coloring and drawing. So she also is really good at um, uh, like doing her own drawings. Like she loves drawing pictures of herself with Sonic or with other cartoons
That's so
or
cool.
she likes
Um,
the Big Bang Theory. She likes the characters of the Big Bang Theory and she'll draw that or the characters from Friends. Like she likes that as well.
yeah.
Yes.
Aw, that's awesome.
Hmm.
So, whenever you do have time, like if she's in school or she's
Yeah.
asleep or something, what do you all like to do that's for you? You know, and for
Uh,
Xander. What do you know?
yeah.
No, that
Something
doesn't
that's
happen.
just strictly.
I'm
Yeah.
I'm 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 at work. I do
Yeah.
a I'm at work. I do a shift that's really bizarre. That's why most of the people in the chat kind of know me. But
Mhm.
I kind of start at 10 a.m. around here, 10 between 10 and 11, and I come at like 10, 11 at night.
Mhm.
Um, and I do fitting, welding, and maintenance. So I do half the afternoon, and when all the day shift leaves, if something happened, there's a guy there at night that can, or me, that
Mhm.
can like kind of check up. So since Kaylee hasn't gone to school in like I say, we can't even bring her to do grocery with us because
Yeah.
if if she sees a Mickey Mouse, that's it. I mean, it's not a kid tantrum; it's pure violence.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
bring sometimes just getting her off the library. So that's her thing, really. Like that's her treat of the week is all of us going to the library.
That's so cool,
Uh,
though.
Hmm.
yeah, but yeah, do we have,
Yeah.
we never
No, we don't. We used to go out for regular. like dinners and date nights and stuff, but we don't anymore because I guess because of
Yeah.
his shift too. But
Yeah.
no, like for me, I just stopped working recently. I worked for oh my, like almost 20 years at Value Village. You know, the thrift store, like
Wow.
Savers. It's
Yeah.
called Savers in the
Yeah.
States, right?
That's
So I
cool.
yes, I worked there for years, which
Mhm.
I just stopped working. They were wonderful
Mhm.
throughout that whole time, really supportive of my schedule with Kaylee and helping me. But
Yeah.
it just felt it was time to stop
Yeah.
because I was just not able to commit to them at all. And
Yeah.
I felt yeah, I felt
You weren't being your best for either, for them or for her. Yeah, I
that's
get
right.
that. I get that.
So
So, so looking ahead, okay, what are your hopes and dreams for Kaylee? Like, and yours as a family? I mean,
mhm.
will she keep going to school? Will she, does she have friends that she, gets to have over or go? Yeah, I know she probably didn't go to their
so
house, but
so
what are
no,
her your hopes and dreams for her?
so sadly no, she doesn't have friends like a connection of friends that
Yeah,
she's never like
yeah,
been to a birthday party or
yeah.
sleepover. She's
Sleepover.
never
That
that's
would
another
probably
like
just be,
so
yeah,
that's another hard part of it I guess I didn't touch on is
yeah,
that like the realization now that especially now that she's
yeah.
getting older, it's
Hmm.
like this like
She's missing
the
out
like
on that.
this shit is real.
Yeah,
It's like oh
yeah,
sorry for my language.
absolutely.
I'm
No, you're
sorry.
fine. No, you're fine. No, don't you
Sorry.
worry about it,
Um
honestly.
um like
No, that is
wow
real.
like she's yeah she's 13, she's like you said, yeah, she's gorgeous, she's
Yeah,
beautiful, and do you know what she
yeah,
no sleepovers, no birthday parties, no prom, like I mean I'm sure there are special needs things that I
yeah,
could get her involved in and stuff. um but yeah, so looking towards the future for her, like I said, she might eventually have to be like in a home. She will continue going to school. The high school here that Xander goes to has a wonderful special needs program. So I'm really looking forward to that. She only has one more year at the school that she's now, which she has a very hard time going to right now. Every year at this time of the year, at the end of the year, she never wants to go to school.
Well, she's done.
well, a
It's
lot
very
just
hard.
a lot of kids are that way, even without
Yeah,
autism, so I can imagine that it's just magnified. She's, like, done. She's, like, over it at
yeah,
this point.
yeah.
She's
She's
like,
over it. That's
yeah,
right.
yeah.
Exactly. She's over it. So she's been off since Easter, but she's
Uh-huh.
willing to try it again Monday. She said. So
Oh, okay.
fingers crossed that she'll go back
Yeah.
Monday for a little while. She's excited, and she said to me tonight. She said, "Yeah, I'm going to try it Monday. I'm going to give it a try for
Aw.
a lot of days." The way she worded it, she's like, "A lot of days, Mom. I'm going to try it." So
Yeah. That's so
yeah,
cute.
yes.
Aw. Oops. I'm trying to keep my notes
And
good
then
here.
our uh like the future for our family, like Xander, like we said, he's amazing in at school. He's getting amazing grades, and he has his
Mhm.
future thought out, like what he wants to do for
Yeah.
college and his career and everything. So he'll do his thing, and then like John and I will stay with Kaylee somewhere, whether it's here or if it's we go find our dream would be a nice home far in the forest somewhere where Kaylee could go out
Yeah.
and run
Yeah. Aw.
Yeah.
away
Oh.
from everyone.
I'm trying to I'm gonna put up a couple more graphics that I have, and then we're gonna go and talk to the chat if that's okay, because 'cause we've got, like, over
Yeah.
60 comments and questions start, so but I wanna put up a couple of little things that I, found that I thought was interesting. Okay,
Mhm.
so here's
Oh
one,
yeah.
and it just kinda shows the spectrum, and I saw one thing that said that autism is not linear, it doesn't go in a line, so her,
Yeah.
the things that she is experiencing could bounce back and forth all over all of that whole spectrum of things, which is like sensory fixation, sensory
Yeah. Show
aversions,
yeah.
hypo and hyper and hypo verbal, because they say some people talk all the time and some don't talk at all. So difficulty with transitions, OCD, which can be
Hmm.
in that whole thing of repeating the same thing over and over too.
Yes.
Hyperfixations, again, like you said with Sonic.
Hmm.
Anxiety, and anxiety can go straight into, violence and all of that too, because they just don't know what to do with it. They can't figure out how to control themselves. Repetitive behavior, depression. Oh, that's that word you said, and I can't remember. Echolalia.
Echolalia.
Yeah,
Echolalia.
echolalia. Yeah,
So it was
yeah,
like I would say, uh,
All
Kaylee,
day long.
hi, Kaylee, how are you? And she would say, hi, Kaylee, how are you? Or
yeah,
she would just,
yeah.
she would just repeat the same thing over. Yeah.
Mhm, mhm. Stimming, and you talked about that too, and,
Yeah.
difficulty, reading social cues. So, yeah,
Mhm.
imagine that could be serious. That could yeah. That would be hard to have her out in the public a lot of times, and which is so sad
Yeah.
because I don't
Yeah.
know,
It
it's
is.
sad. I
Yeah.
get where you're coming from, where you were saying that it's almost like grief, because there
Dude.
is a degree of sadness with it, and especially the older she gets, and with where she's at, in it,
Yeah.
in the spectrum, that there's just gonna be some things that aren't possible, and so that has to be a grief process for you
Oh,
as her parents. Because when we
oh
have
yeah.
that baby, we're holding that baby and we're thinking about, "Oh, they're gonna have this wonderful life," and all these things, that we
Especially a
immediately are
little girl.
planning their
Yeah.
life. Yeah, a little
Right. Oh
girl,
yeah.
yeah.
Especially a little girl thinking of her walking down
Prom
the
and their
aisle.
wedding,
Like,
yes.
oh yeah. Yeah, we're not
Yeah.
gonna see that with her. Like I'm just like praying Xander's gonna have children with his wife so I can be a grandma.
Yeah, I bet he will. And then I found
Hmm.
this other one too that I thought was cute. Yeah.
Hmm. I
It
like that one
says
too.
autism is a spectrum, but it's not a line graph. Yeah. So I think that is it's more like a pie chart. And so, yeah, it's the same kind of deal.
Yeah.
It tells about special interests, routines, sensory issues, repetitive. I can't say the word tonight. Stimming, difficulties in social interactions, languages, and other things. Yeah. So, yeah, some have more support needs than others, but we are all actually autistic. I think that is so cool. I thought that was a really neat graphic. I just liked it. So let me take that down, and I'm gonna go over and check in with our chat and see what they've got going on. 'Cause, yeah, we are sitting at 64 comments. So Angie Wilson says, "I have ADHD too, plus other things. It's a struggle, but good for us for managing life anyways." Absolutely. Yeah. She also says she has a 21, 20, and almost 16-year-old. Wow. She's busy. That's a busy life.
Yeah. Wow.
So Mare says, "Angie, my second granddaughter is ADHD, and my 15-year-old grandson thinks or youngest or our youngest granddaughter should be tested." Yeah, she was talking the other day about the grandson that's like she needs to be tested for stuff. It's funny how these kids can pick up on stuff sometimes even before the parents can.
So
Yeah, I already read that one too.
autism and
Yeah.
ADHD usually go hand in hand, especially with
Yeah.
girls.
Yeah. Yeah. Angie says, "I'm pretty sure I have undiagnosed autism, but you know what the 80s were like? They just labeled everything ADHD and threw Ritalin at it, and that was a done deal." Yeah, that was what they
Hmm.
did in the 80s and the 90s. So Daniel Price says, "Back in the old days before Ritalin, when we had to walk uphill to school in the snow both ways, passing by dinosaurs." I think Daniel's got a creative, little imagination here. So Angie says, "My sisters think the same, think they see things we don't." Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Daniel
Sometimes,
Price
sometimes,
said, mhm.
sometimes she looks above our head, and we can see that she's seeing something,
Mhm.
and it's clear she's seeing something, but she won't tell.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
can't. She
Yeah. It
can't.
looks like she's seeing something, and I always say it's almost like she's on a hallucinogenic all the time. Like
Yeah.
that's how what I refer it to. It's almost like she's always on an acid trip or mushrooms or something.
Right.
Like
Yeah,
With your
I know what
pill,
you mean, though.
That's what it's like because she's happy and in this world all the time, and then she'll look. It's like, what are you
Yeah,
doing?
yeah.
Like that's my
Need
best
something.
reference.
Mm, yeah,
you know,
Daniel
you
says
know, because-
that sometimes the ADHD is a comorbidity of autism. Some autistic people are ADHD, but not all ADH people are
Mhm.
autistic.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
I forget to mention something before you continue, Susie.
Uh-huh.
Um, uh, because before I forget my chain of thought is like you were asking us a little bit earlier on uh, about Kaylee, like like not having sleepover, not having
Mhm.
this, not being with uh, uh, and I've been told by my spiritual advisor, which is my mom, that what Kaylee needs, wants, and likes is our new couch, the corner and the couch, and the safety of the
Mhm.
room with us around. She
Yeah.
doesn't seem to need more.
Hmm.
She's not asking us for sleepover.
Yeah. No,
She,
Right.
no.
she or friends
Yeah.
or she wants to be in a corner with her Sonic toys, a book,
Mhm.
seeing Papa over there with a cigar or whatever, and Mama doing dishes, and
Mhm.
what that
It's what makes her happy
that's her
and
safety,
Yeah.
secure.
security.
Yeah.
So she's not like, oh, you don't want me to go to a sleepover. Kaylee
No,
is
no,
four in
no.
her head.
Yeah.
Kaylee is four in her
Yeah.
head. She's 13,
Yeah.
but she doesn't think about these things. What she needs and wants is feeling safe. So I
Mhm.
just
Yeah.
wanted
Which I
to add
think is
that
so
because
great. Oh, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I think it's so
Yeah.
great that you recognize that. You know what I mean? That
oh
you're not
yeah,
being like, "She's 13, she should be wanting this, this, and this." No, you're not
Yeah.
worried
No.
about
no.
what her age should be wanting. You're worried about what she wants and needs right now. You meet her where
Mhm.
Hmm.
she's at. You meet her where
Yes.
she's at.
Yeah.
So
That's right.
and I think it's beautiful. I think it's absolutely beautiful. I was just wondering, like, what her wants and needs are. Does she want that kind of thing? But I don't think that it's bad that she doesn't. It's probably better that she doesn't. It's probably
Yeah. No.
easier for her that it's not even on her radar.
Yeah. It's
So,
not. Each day she just, like John said, she wants to read her books and watch her movies and color, and she wants to do her same thing every day. That's what she wants. Go play outside, play at the park. Like that's what she wants. Walk to the store.
yeah.
That's it.
Oh, thanks, Danette. I'm sure not everybody agrees that my shows making fun of Reese are epic, but thank you. Okay. Yeah. Okay, Daniel says autism's been around through all of human history. Unfortunately, back in the old days, many were shoved away into homes and they didn't have a name for it. Now it's more widely recognized and identifiable. That's right. This isn't new. This has been here always. It's just that it's really we're seeing it now. We're noticing it. We know what it is now. And, as it was saying earlier, the ways that they can diagnose it now and the treatments for it, bring it more into the forefront. It's not that it didn't exist before, it's that we figured it out. We figured out it
Right. Right.
existed.
Right. Well, I was going to mention that you mentioned Temple Grandin in the beginning. So
Mhm.
I love that woman. Like
Mhm.
it's actually Dr. Temple Grandin. She has her doctorate in
Mhm.
animal sciences. She's amazing.
Wow.
Her-
Yeah.
Years ago, if her mom had given up on her, she would have
Yeah.
been locked away. She would have been locked away. The doctors wanted to blame it on her mother. We're saying
Mm.
that you didn't show enough attention to your child. That's why she's not talking. That's why she's not
Mhm.
interacting. You're not being a good
That
mother. That's what
awful?
it was yeah, that's what it was years ago. They would just look at this child acting a bit differently, maybe not speaking, not functioning like their brothers or sisters, and they
Mhm.
would take them away from their families and lock them up because they didn't know what else to do with them. But Temple Grandin's mother said,
Mhm.
"You're not doing that with my child.
Yeah.
I'm a good doting mother, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna figure out what is gonna work with my child."
And
And
look
that's
now.
what she did. Exactly. Like
Imagine
now.
though the difference in then and now. Imagine now in, 10, 20, 30 years down the road. Imagine the possibilities,
Yeah.
and even for Kaylee, but for other children as they, are born and everything. But even for her, there may
Right.
be drastic changes in what they can do to help her. So
Oh
when you
yeah.
never know, you know. Last time I checked, God was still in the miracle business.
Right.
So, Daniel says autism's just a different neurological. Hold on, I'm not hitting the right button. Autism's just a different neurological handwriting. That's it. Absolutely. You're right, Daniel. Very wise. And Danette says, John, I even made it in on time. Aren't you proud of me?
Yeah. She put her alarm. I put an alarm.
Yeah. Wow. It says Satoshi Tajiri, Anthony Hopkins, Dan
Oh,
Aykroyd, Einstein, Isaac
autistic.
Newton,
Yeah.
Thomas Jefferson, Mozart. Lot of famous autistic people. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's absolutely.
You know what, Susie? I just wanted to say quickly that before, let's say, 100 years ago, or something like that, they just used to be put on asylum because the drugs that were giving her to keep her calm
Mhm.
required back then a straight jacket.
Hmm.
So they right away they used to be put in asylum. It's like there's some. I'm gonna show you guys something while you do a comment. While you do
Okay.
comments.
Mischief Managed says, "Hi everyone. Sorry, I'm busy in the dungeon fighting off the dragon at the moment. He's getting hangry and needs snacks." Not Mischief, she's full of it. She is always saying she's in the dungeon and trying to get me to send her snacks,
Oh, look.
which I did send her some snacks. But
So I don't know if you guys can see that. I don't know if I can show it very
yeah.
well. It's actually upside down, but can you see the big two loops
Mhm.
under there
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
the big two loops over here?
Mhm.
So this is the jacket that we need to put on her every day so she doesn't come off the van that bring her 5 minutes away from here to the school. So she's getting hooked to the seat, to the van,
Mhm.
like this, like I'm wearing it right now. And
Mhm.
then they're tightened by hook in the back because she used to want to get off at every stop.
Yeah, she wanted to always take her seatbelt off and play with the person's radio or go touch stuff. Like she
Yeah.
couldn't sit there.
She actually had
Yeah.
figured out the lock button on the belt, on the seat belt. So we had to. So it's
Mm.
a restriction vest with four big hoops, and
Mhm.
it needs to be
A
tight.
harness.
A harness. Yes,
Harness, yeah.
sorry, harness.
Restriction harness.
Mhm. Daniel says early intervention helps a lot, especially with speech and occupational therapy. And Cat Smoke
And
says this
funding
is the first
Mhm.
time, yeah, the first
and
time that
funding.
Mocha is coming on the live, and that she has a daughter that has autism. A lot of people in this community are either autistic or have a family member that's on the spectrum. So I knew this would be a very popular live. Danette says, I know, right? All kidding aside, I wanted to be here for you, Amy, and your beautiful daughter. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank
They are a
you.
great family. They are a great family. So let's see here. Our youngest grandson had lots of speech therapy, and wow, it made such a difference. Mayor, that is great. That
Yeah,
really is great.
that's wonderful. Yeah,
Mhm.
speech therapy is wonderful. I did a
Yeah.
lot of it at home myself.
Yeah. Danette says it's nice to finally meet you, Amy.
Oh, it's wonderful to meet you.
Stacia says, "Hello, John and Amy. You're lucky to have a beautiful daughter." Yes, and they are. She is lucky to have them, and Xander is a doll too.
Yes.
That kid is adorable. Angie says, amazing, giving her the props she deserves. Good husbandry. Yeah. Yeah, that is so good that he gives you the props that you deserve. That's good. You guys are such
Yep.
amazing parents. Yes, Danette, they definitely are. Yeah. She's a beautiful miracle.
Mm,
Absolutely.
yeah,
Mhm.
she is a
Some of
miracle.
these are from early on, you can tell because it's when I showed her pictures. So they're saying she's so
Right.
beautiful. Eric Levitt says she's adorable. Eric is a high functioning autistic spectrum. Yeah. It says Amy, off the topic question. How do you put up with Jon? Absolutely. He
Yeah.
must be
Oh,
insane.
yeah. That.
She
Yeah.
doesn't.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
tied back. She doesn't.
Yeah. No. A lot of coffee and I guess a lot of coffee. I don't know how to answer that one. A lot of coffee because I don't drink
Yeah.
anymore. A lot of coffee.
And
Yeah.
a rabbit. And a rabbit.
And a rabbit. Yes.
Yeah.
I used to have a bunny rabbit. Eric says, I was diagnosed with high functioning autism at 5 years old in 1992. It's been almost 33 years in June. I'm 38, born in 87 March. Third Pisces baby.
Boy.
Oh, yeah. That's a long time. That's great, though. Okay. Just like neurotypical people, neurodivergent people can be very different. Many people lump autistic kids into the same group. Absolutely, and that's wrong because just like what they've said,
Yeah.
they're all over the place. They can have a couple of these things, or they can have all of them, or this one and this one over here, and this, it's
Right.
they're all different, and just
Well,
like
and
regular people, just like I don't mean regular, but you know what I mean, just like
right.
neurotypical,
Yeah.
just like
Well, and that
everybody. They are
right,
just.
and sadly that weel that you showed, Kaylee, she
Mhm.
takes that whole wheel. Like it she
Yeah.
has, the OCD, she gets the anxiety, she's that whole spectrum. And some
Well, I
some
was looking
people
at
would,
that wheel and I am like right on there with all those things too. I think just about every
yeah.
one of us has those on some levels.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just throwing down. Joe
Well, yeah,
McCoy
yeah,
says Joe McCoy says, I feel
yeah.
it's an honor to be able to be here and hear from these parents who have lived this. Thank you, Jon and Amy. Thank you, Joel. That's so kind. And Darcy says, do you
I
follow
do follow
her?
Finding Cooper. I do. Yes, I follow her on Instagram, sometimes on Facebook. Yes, she wrote
Yeah.
a book. Yeah. Oh yeah, I know her.
Yeah.
Every time,
She's a wonderful woman.
every time I read that comments, like that comments is like pretty much like 10 time in there. I thought they were talking about Alice Cooper, so
No,
I
no,
never
Cooper.
answered
Cooper is a boy. He's around
it.
14 or something. He's
Yeah.
nonverbal, pretty much nonverbal. Yeah, but his mom is wonderful. I love her.
Aw.
Hmm.
Danette says, I have a cousin who has autism. He's like 65. When he was diagnosed, the doctors used that other word. Yeah. He's so
Hmm.
smart. He knows music. You'd get along great with him, John. I'm sure, especially being 65 years old, I'm sure they did use that other word.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that we're progressing, and we've got so far to go, but we are making progress.
Yeah, because that word still gets used a
Yeah.
lot, I find in the kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Angie says, I want to get diagnosed and asked my doctor a couple months ago. She told me I'd have to pay for it to get done myself. And I'd have to go to a
Oh.
larger city and it'll cost upwards of $3,000. And I just
Hmm.
don't have the money.
Oh,
The next one. Wow.
oh, that's sad.
Yeah, that can be, yeah.
That's United States, right?
No, yeah, where is she from?
Probably United States because it costs
I think
nothing
it's
here.
I can't remember. I was trying to think. Angie, are you in the States or in Canada? I can't remember.
It differs from province to province, though.
Yeah, I kept thinking she
Yeah.
was in Canada, but maybe not.
No, she's in Denver.
Can he tell you who wrote a song when it was written? Um, how many bands have covered it, and in his record collection is impressive. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, her cousin who was it her cousin that she said had autism? So Kaylee's like that too. Her memory is wild.
Mhm.
Like she has 100 or more DVDs. She knows the DVDs.
Yeah.
She knows she
Yeah.
knows the producer, the voice actors. She knows everything about it, like
Wow,
detail.
that is
She knows
amazing.
detail.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Cat Smoker says I took my daughter to a doctor to get diagnosed. She was like 12, and the doctor only said, "Did you drop her when she was a baby?" I
Mhm.
couldn't believe he said
Oh,
that.
mm,
What an asshole.
yeah. Wow.
I would have been like, "No, but I'm fixing to punch you in the throat."
But yeah,
You know?
I'm fixing to drop you though.
Yeah, I'm fixing
Goodness.
to drop you. Oh. Mm,
Wow.
goodness. Daniel says, "Yep, many have amazing memory retention and remember what some find obscure. Absolutely, and they can rattle off
Up
data like
there.
nobody's business." Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. But funny thing is my memory's like that too though. Like
Really?
yeah, my brain is full of useless knowledge.
Stacia says, I love hearing individual stories and family stories. Learning is my goal. This is my favorite part of my channel is when I get to talk to just normal people or families or whatever and just hear your stories. I mean, they can be happy, sad, whatever. I get very excited by them. Yeah. Okay.
There
Angie
is a
says, I had
there,
Carrie's place help me. Yeah. Sorry, John. I had Carrie's place help me with the respite. Yeah, for my son. They're an
She's
amazing
in
resource.
Canada then. She's in
Yeah.
Canada. She
I
had
think
Carrie's
she's in
place.
Canada. Yeah.
Yeah, Carrie's place is Ontario. She's in Ontario.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought she was,
Mhm.
but I thought, man, I'm going to get this wrong and look stupid.
Yep.
well,
So,
then what she can do is her GP. She has to take an appointment with her GP, and the GP must refer to the specialist
But maybe it's
without a
she's an
cost.
adult. Maybe it's because she's an adult as well.
yeah,
I
it
don't
might be
know.
But
that.
she should start by that with the GP though,
Mhm.
because yeah, because you can't walk straight. You can't walk straight in a professional
Yeah.
about autistic and say I want to be diagnosed.
Yeah.
Because probably people would profit from
Yeah.
that and
Yeah.
make believe that they have something. But if they
Mhm.
start by the beginning with the GP and all that,
Yeah.
she would have
Yeah, a lot
better
of times
chance.
a lot of it is how you say things. Like if you say I want to be diagnosed, they think that that you're chasing that diagnosis and that you're trying to make money off of it. Just like if I went in and said, I need some pain pills, they're going to think that I'm trying to sell them on the
Yeah,
street or something.
Right.
If I
that's
go
right.
in and
Exactly.
Same
tell
thing.
the story and they see that, hey, this woman can't walk, she's in so much pain, then I'm more likely to get them. But not
Yeah.
really. Don't
You
tell
get
them they
to
need
start,
pills.
yeah, start with your GP,
Yeah.
and then they
Yeah.
follow up and then test,
Hmm.
and then until you get to the actual for us, her name is Dr. Raj Guru, and then she made the diagnosis. And now we have to continue with a mental specialist for the medication. It doesn't stop. That's Amy's job. That's why there's so many phone calls, so many just following up with the meds that Kaylee needs is like I'm at the pharmacy all the time picking up stuff
Yeah.
for her, but Amy keeps an eye on all that, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Daniel Price says Sonic, huh? Put a bunch of gold rings around the house for her to chase and collect.
Ah, good
Yeah.
idea.
That is
There's
Good
good.
so
idea.
From her
there's
birthday.
so
Yeah.
many Sonic around here
Yeah.
that's unbelievable. And I'm a sucker too, eh? You guys see
Oh.
I'm always I like at 6 o'clock at night going out in my car and having a cigar, okay,
Mhm.
as a break. and then I stop at the dollar store or whatever you guys call that, the cheap
Yeah.
store, and
Yeah.
buy Sonic stuff,
Yeah.
stickers, toys, and then posters, and we try to put something in her safe corner like all the
Mhm.
time, because I think she missed on so much that it's nothing compared to what she missed on. Like all the other girls had hockey practice, sleepover, and all that, and she didn't. So it's
But
almost nothing.
you just have to remember she's happy with her corner of the couch with her
Exactly.
papa and her mama and her
Yeah.
brother.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
you just have to remember that. So
Hmm.
Daniel says that's a good thing to use as a teaching method if parents or caregivers are having trouble making breakthroughs with ASD kids is relate to something that they like games and such. Yeah, absolutely.
Mhm.
So Angie says part of my son's diagnosis included an IQ test and he scored 123 in the 93rd percentile of the world. So definitely autistic doesn't mean stupid at all. No,
No,
absolutely not.
no.
In
No.
fact, a lot of studies show that it's absolutely the very different, other end of
Yeah.
stupid. Like they are very smart. And that
Yes.
kind of goes against them sometimes, it
Yeah.
just really it just has that much more going on in their brain. So,
It- It's
Mhm.
more, I see it more as a social issue. It's
yeah.
as compare as it is a mental disease, but
Yeah.
I would not compare her
It's
mental.
just so true.
Yeah, I wouldn't compare her mental so much to another one as her social compared to
Yeah.
another one.
I understand. I understand.
Kaylee would come and she has like 11 cousin and stuff. She'll go in her corner, do her stuff. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Instead of getting involved with the social.
Mhm.
But if
Mhm.
you put her in front of the same test of the other one, she'll write and read and answer question and stuff like that,
Mhm.
right?
Wow. Mara says my daughter is a life skills worker, so she works with kids and adults with challenges. Handy with a son with ASD and or ADHD.
I hope
My
she's
tongue's
well
getting
paid.
all twisted. Yeah. Yeah. My tongue's getting
I hope,
twisted up on all those abbreviations.
I
Joe
hope she's
McCoy.
well paid.
Yeah, needs to be, doesn't she? Joe
Hmm.
McCoy says, I'm feeling some very powerful feelings. We must all do what we can to help. Let's all find things that we can do, find groups that help and support them, learn more. We must help. I agree, Joel. We all need to
Mhm.
take an active part in that and we just do. So Angie says, I worked with a man named Dr. Templeton, who was Canada's leading autism doctor until he left to train other doctors in the field. He changed my life and really helped me understand my son. Yeah. Lori Driscoll says, I was saying boot 'em, meaning as parents, you decide what's right for your child. Yeah, whenever I was saying that those people that were there and you basically boot them and had to pay them for a couple more
Oh
weeks.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And Daniel says, you'll find out who your real friends are when you have a loved one with autism. And you also find out a lot of so called friends are really fake. I'm sure that can be with a lot of things. That happens
Yeah.
with a lot of you know, anything that's like uncomfortable for people. A lot of
Yeah.
times, even good people will just kind of back away because they don't want to screw up. They don't want to say the wrong thing or do the
Right.
wrong thing. And it doesn't necessarily mean that they're not true friends or whatever. It just means a lot of people just don't know. They just don't know what to do and they're scared. So this one says a good book on Amazon, Forever Boy, a mother's memoir of autism and finding joy. Cool. Forever Boy. That's a good one.
Yeah.
And then I use noise counseling headphones for noise from people if it's at
Mhm.
a theme park or at a mall. This is Eric. I don't like crowds
Mhm.
with having social anxiety, and my high functioning autism is very hard for me. Yeah. I can
Yeah.
understand that. I see a lot of people that use, like, that noise
So
canceling.
we can't we can't we can't take Kaylee anywhere without
Yeah.
her headphones. She has her headphones,
Yeah.
and also sadly, there's so many things that can trigger her sight.
Yeah.
Like
And
she has to
cold
wear
Yeah.
eyes.
she has to wear sunglasses. She has to wear these to go because sometimes it will block. It's
Yeah.
sad, but just looking at certain characters, certain pictures, certain the way like an eye can look on a cartoon, like it can just upset her. So she needs to cover her eyes sometimes.
Yeah. So Daniel says that's a big problem with meltdowns. It's the de-escalating. Yeah, you have
Mm,
to work on the
absolutely.
de-escalating.
Oh yeah.
Lord, Lord Kiss Freak says my daughter was the queen of meltdowns. We had to go get her from school often. Yeah.
I did. Yeah, I did too.
Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah, from shop. Yeah.
Angie says my son was really violent. I had to make an environment just so specifically for him because Children's Aid Society wanted to take him and put him in a facility, but I was a foster kid and no chance was I
Mm.
going to let him go through what I went through. No effing chance. I don't blame you, sweetie. I don't blame you.
no.
Mhm.
Aw. She says, I can't even remember how many times I was strained by multiple adults holding me on the ground or cops hog tying me. No way was my kid going to go through that. Yeah.
We did.
Mhm.
I needed to do that before we get the right medication. I needed.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
that or the house being
Yeah.
smashed and or someone getting hurt. Actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Angie says, I gave
I
up
un-
everything as a single mom to make it safe for the girls and keep him in the house, but it was all worth it in the end, and I'd do it all over again. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's
Yeah.
the love of a parent. We'll do whatever,
Yeah.
you know.
Right.
Lord Kiss Freak says, Angie, like I said in my video with Susie, I went from home to home quite a bit too, and there was no way I would have ever let that happen to Harley. Aw, I know.
Aw,
Nice.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, you guys
I
are
know
courageous. Yeah.
it's been a fear in the back of our minds too, though. Like if especially
Yeah.
now that she's old, especially now that she's older, like if she hits someone or anything like that
Yeah.
happens out in the public when we're not around, like at school or somewhere,
Mm.
like
Mhm.
if people don't know that she's autistic and they just see her wailing on someone or freaking out, they're
Yeah.
gonna call the cops and she's gonna go in handcuffs because she's
Mm.
strong and they
Mm.
don't.
Can you imagine
I've seen
how traumatic that would be, though?
I've seen it in the news so many times where
Mhm.
it happens where
Mhm.
they don't know this person is autistic and the police
Mhm.
arrest them, or heaven
Mhm.
forbid the child gets shot or something. And
Yeah, absolutely.
it's a huge fear.
Because they don't
Mhm.
know. The
They don't
cops
know.
won't know
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
until it's
Yeah.
too late. That
until it's too late.
yeah. But
Mhm.
I wanted to say something. Fudge. I don't know what I wanted to say, but I wanted to show you something. Pretty much all of you. Uh, we went through a stage where we had to actually
Oh, I still
Mhm.
use it because she elopes.
Yeah.
because she's illegal, and this is illegal. You
Yeah.
can't lock the door from the inside with a key in case of a
Yeah.
fire.
Yeah.
Because if you don't find the key, you can't get out.
Yep.
But on the other end, if we don't keep an eye on her and she snap,
Mhm.
she might elope and we'll never find her.
Yeah.
And that's how probably sometime accident happened when the police got involved, shooting someone that they didn't know had autism and was on a
Yeah.
complete meltdown,
Yeah.
right? So
So
so whoever said we need to take precaution, or you guys, I wanted to say something very, very quick.
no, that's fine.
Amy mentioned something at the beginning of the show. That's why I choose to live, or I'm trained to choose to live more in the moment,
Mhm.
because our alcoholic kids, especially mine,
Mhm.
if I see too far, then I get into a deep anger and sadness of what Kaylee's missing or where she can end up. So if I stay in the day and in the moment,
Yeah.
she's in. Actually, I should show you her corner. I don't know why I didn't thought about it before, but uh, so this is her sonic corner there.
Aw. Yeah. Cool.
So in the morning she goes like right in that corner. Right now there's
Yeah.
my stuff, but so that's her corner.
Mhm.
So if I choose to live, but Amy as a mother brain and all that, look further down. I want to keep my daughter, and I will do everything, anything to keep my daughter. Right? We have it's almost like that at 13 years old. It's almost like Amy and I had a baby every year for
Yeah.
13
Oh,
years.
oh yeah, the exhaustion of taking care of a newborn, if you know
Yeah.
that feeling, I'm in it.
For 13
All the
years.
13
time.
years,
It,
that's it.
it's like if we had had
I
a baby
understand.
for 13 years.
Hmm.
That's a perfect
Amy had,
analogy.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah. I tell that my mom often. I said, we're exhausted. Mom, we're exhausted. And
Mhm.
I say like it's, yeah, have you ever, like my mom had 6 children.
Mm.
Okay. And I'm the oldest. I say, did you ever, like, in my head is like, have you ever take care of 13 children,
Mhm.
right? Because we're there. And then it's going to continue 14, 15, 16,
Yeah.
because she's
Yeah.
done growing up.
Yeah,
She's
she's
done.
done.
Yeah. Mm.
Mhm.
So how does
Right now,
this affect your son? How does Xander deal with all of it? You know.
Um,
I said I answer in the chat that it was the violence affect him a lot at
oh,
the beginning.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
it does affect him. I think what he does a lot now, now that he's a teenager, he listens to music a lot. That's it.
Yeah.
Music therapy. Do what I should have answered that earlier too. Music is
Yeah.
my one of my biggest therapies. I'm a huge,
Heavy metal.
huge music. I just need to go in my room, shut everything, the world out, and listen to music. That helps so much. And that's what
Well, and he
Xander
plays
has.
guitar too.
Yeah. So Xander has adapted to that too. Plus, he's also a runner. So running is his therapy as well. He loves to run, loves to run. But I think
Wow.
over the years, we also have, like, the expression is thick skin. Like,
Mhm.
if things bother him, it's like, I think, it doesn't bother him as much anymore. We did have a talk about this
Yeah.
not too long ago where it did affect him a lot when he was younger. Not so much now.
Yeah.
Now
Not so
that he's
much now.
older, yeah.
Yeah. His emotional maturity's gotten more too, where he can handle it
Yeah,
more. Yeah.
that's right. Yeah.
So, Mischief says congratulations on your sobriety. And Joel says, what I see is how strong you must be to meet this challenge. I am very moved by that for any family to have to deal with it. I thank John and Amy as well as all in the chat who have shared. I do too. I think that it's amazing.
Mhm.
I think that you all are amazing. I think the other people in the chat that are dealing with this too are amazing. And
Yeah.
it
Yeah,
just,
Yes.
I,
it
I'm
is.
s- I'm
Hmm.
so happy, Susie, that the response from the chat of the
Hmm.
Mhm.
people with their experience, because
Oh, yeah.
I know I've been looking at my phone the whole time, but I was looking at the
Mhm.
chat, actually, the comments, and
Mhm.
I mean,
Been a lot.
one touched
Mhm.
me a lot because Daniel just says there was an incident that recently in Idaho, the cops rolled up, shot first, asked question later. The boy was autistic.
Yeah, that's what I was referring to. I know that story. Like, I know whenever there's a story like that, I see it.
Yeah.
I know it all.
Yeah.
I see it, and that, like, there are many times when I cry at stories like that. Like, I just do. I'm a crier naturally, but if I
No,
see something like that, if I see
I
something like
I
that, yeah,
was
I'm gonna.
thinking I was thinking about that just a couple minutes ago with, thinking about it from the parent's perspective, and even if their child, because they're always your child. I don't care if they are 50 years old, they're still going to be your child. So, but
Yeah.
anyway, so if their child is even a high functioning autistic individual and they're out in the world, and the fear that you have, anytime that they're not right with you, where you can say, "Hey, they're autistic," whatever you need to do to protect them, reminds me a lot of how mothers of Black children must feel when their children go out into the world, and it's just
Mhm.
dangerous, and it's scary, and
Yeah.
it's not the same, but it is. It is kind of the
Right.
same, and I've never experienced either. I don't have any, Black or mixed children, and I don't have any autistic children, but my admiration for the mothers that have to live with those fears day in and day out and just meet the needs of these children. You all are amazing. You truly are amazing.
Thank you.
So, Stacia says it's fun discovering what my friends use for stimming. Some use stones, some use crystals, some use sensory toys. Yeah, I can
Hmm.
imagine. Huh. There's so many things that I just didn't think about before. I mean, I will now. You can bet I will think about a
Yeah,
lot of these things so much more. Danette says kids can be mean, especially girls. Maybe missing out on those things is a blessing. True. I remember
you know
my
what?
daughter crying her eyes out because she was picked on. Girls are mean.
I know it's true. It is a blessing in disguise because you know what?
Yeah.
If I would not like to be like if Kaylee brought a guy home, I would not like to be that guy, John meeting that guy. You know what I mean? Like it all worked out for the
Yes,
best.
it
God,
worked out the best.
like, like to have a child to be
Lord.
autistic, to have a child to be autistic, it needed to be the girl.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, God, that you picked the right child.
Yes.
Oh my word. Danette says, Amy, you're an amazing mother, not just for caring for Kaylee, but for taking care of John too.
God too. Thank you.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
only one that's not giving her a lot of trouble is Xander. She's got
Yeah,
two that
that's
she has to
no,
deal
that's
with.
great. Yeah, John and Kaylee are my babies, but I always call Xander my newborn. Like you were saying that our kids are always going to be our babies. Yeah, I call Xander my newborn baby. He always gets embarrassed. Don't call me that.
Oh, that's sweet though. Now here's the last one, and then I think we're gonna call this a good night. So,
Okay.
and it's fitting that it's Joel because he's always got so much good to say. This stream has been so special. I've learned a lot. I'm having a hard time holding back the tears. I feel so much. I will find a way to help. Let's all be kind and find a way to help. He will too.
I love that.
He's an amazing, amazing man. He is an amazing man. So, you guys, I appreciate you being here with me so much. I welcome you back anytime and
I would love to come back. This has been
yeah,
amazing. I
yeah.
didn't expect to like it so much, but yeah, this has been great. Yeah. And for anyone like any questions? I feel like I could talk about it forever. Like when it is your
Oh,
path or
yeah.
your passion, like I could
Mhm,
just I could speak on the subject for
mhm,
forever.
mhm.
and
Well, we'll have to
and
have you back on.
and
Yeah.
I to finish it. It's funny. I had a thought when I left here for a minute. I thought um I don't know how to say that without uh like I don't want to hurt any feeling to anyone, but the show tonight, first I didn't see any troll, I didn't
I didn't
see
either.
any haters
I didn't either.
because of what the show was and represented.
Yeah.
We didn't decide to sit down and say let's bash at someone.
Yeah, no,
We
this is
said,
all about love. It's all
yeah,
about love.
and I bet if you do it about like any kind of recovery, any kind of disease,
Mhm,
any kind of people reaching out for help and stuff like that, I thought that like no trolls, no haters, just good comment, good experience, lots of support for us, and I
Absolutely.
hope we could bring a lots of support. And it was an amazing show because you
I
don't
think
have to
so too.
defend your point, like always try to defend your point and or this and that. No, we don't have time for that. We're
Yeah.
busy.
Too
Like
busy.
we have our end full. Like
Mhm.
and that was a great show, Susie. Like your
Thank
question were fantastic,
Yes.
comments
thank
were
you so much.
fantastic.
And the everything, your links and the literature and everything that you put to the screen, like those are things that I have on my saved on my phone, like those
Mhm.
wheels that's perfect, spot
Yeah.
on. I'm very, very grateful for everything that you prepared tonight.
Yeah. I've
Mhm.
tried to put a lot of thought into this one. I was really excited to
Yeah.
have you on, and I tried to really put a lot of
Yeah.
thought into it.
Oh,
So
you
I'm so
didn't.
glad
It
you
was
liked it.
spot on.
Well, we'll have you on another time. We will either continue this conversation or we'll talk about something else.
Definitely.
So I'm gonna
Anytime.
go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and let y'all go back into the back room, and you can go ahead and sign off of there if you want to, whatever you want to do. I'm gonna say goodbye to the chat, and then we'll talk to you again soon.
Lots of love. God bless you all.
Lots of love to you too. Lots of love to you all too. So, wasn't that amazing, guys? I absolutely think that they are just my thing is having I'm having a hard time tonight with my mouse. Sorry. Whoops. Okay, there we go. So, I just appreciate you all being here. I appreciate that we didn't have a big troll problem or anything. I was going to be really mad if we did because this is just such a it was just love. Just love. And so that's what I wanted this to be about tonight was love and respect and just all of that. So, I think it was great. I know that there's gonna be a lot more viewers on the replay. It was kind of late, but we have to work around his schedule too, and he works all the time. So I just want to thank you so much for being here and sharing your life with us. John and Amy, thank you so much. I truly believe that your open and honest words have probably changed people's views on things. I mean, even like Joel said, it's made him just really want to do something to help. And it might just have been something that a family that hasn't even watched this yet might really need to hear. We don't know. The internet is forever. It could be 5, 10 years down the road, and somebody could watch this show and be like, that clicks with me. And so that's what I think is really, really, I don't know. I just think it's amazing. So I pray the families in Canada and the world know that you aren't alone and that there are communities, support groups, and professionals that are absolutely ready to help you to walk this road with you. And if you enjoyed tonight's show, please share it with somebody that you think might, benefit from it. And you could hit that like and subscribe too. Anybody that would like to, please leave comments or questions in the chat or in the comment section after the video, and I will make sure that John and Amy get those. And he's checking in a lot, so I'm sure that he'll answer those or get them to Amy to answer. And I'm gonna go ahead and go and go spend a little bit of time with my little puppy and my husband. So thank you, John, Amy, Xander, and the sleeping little angel, Kaylee. You all don't understand how much I have just really grown to love you all. So I will talk to you soon.
Hope you enjoyed the show. So glad you were here. We meet here most days. We're but first coffee and you're welcome here. We talk about hard subjects, but we also laugh a lot. If you have a loss or win, we will cheer for you. We're but first coffee and you are safe here. So hit those like and subscribe buttons, notifications set to all. You don't want to miss a show, because this is your home to y'all. like and subscribe buttons, notifications set to all. You don't want to miss a show, because this is your home to y'all. So hit those like and subscribe buttons, notifications set to all.